Yeah, I could tell you from my experience, I've been all over the map before fights, but recently, with all the experience in the past, most of the time, I do have nerves, but I like that feeling. It wakes me up, it exhilarates me, and all I could think about is how much fun this is going to be, and I always tell myself just to go out there and perform to your fullest, because at the end of those 15 or 25 minutes, you don't want to walk away with regrets that you should have done this or you should have done that. You should live in the moment and you perform to your fullest.
The Water Boy, 10-0 in his MMA career, 1-0 inside the octagon.
Well, that day before fighting Carlos, I was definitely just feeling like it was just another fight.
He's one of the very first guys that we've seen that didn't start out as a wrestler or a jiu-jitsu guy or a striker. Started out in mixed martial arts and he's got a lot of hype behind him.
I started to get really amped up as it got closer to the fight, and I kind of lost focus and started playing into my emotions rather than keeping a steady, level head and using my techniques.
Those are short, solid elbows by Carlos Condit.
It was a big part of my growth as a martial artist. Definitely, it was the hardest loss to deal with. Losing to Robbie, I had been a little more experienced and changed my mindset about losses and wins. I guess that your perspective changes with experience. So when I was fighting Condit before that, I've always wanted to be undefeated and this and that. And I thought those were the important things, the on paper type of things. But I've grown to realize that's really not the case. That at the end of the career, at the end of the day, what you could take away is the experience that us fighters get to take part in, the time in the cage, the growth as martial artists, and with every loss I've grown, and I've learned to appreciate that. My energy before fighting BJ Penn was very high energy. I had, I was in like the perfect balance of, aggression and excitement and energy, but also keeping a steady level head and wanting to use the techniques that I've mastered. So, I was in a great state of mind for that fight.
That one hurt him. Oh, that one hurt him too.
A lot of people thought that I was being a show-off or I was taunting him. That wasn't the case. A lot of people commented on the alley shuffle, but I was using that as a feint to different techniques like Superman punches, head kicks, front kicks. You could use it to bait your opponent in and set up different techniques.
There's so many feints he's throwing.
It's just a technical thing that a lot of people can't appreciate. They look at it more as dancing, but I get it, but that wasn't the case.
Good straight right by Rory. And a head kick.
Close him off like you're doing, but you gotta punish him. And don't stop wrestling.
Beautiful takedown.
Rob, we need this round.
Nice job. Robbie Lawler tagged him again. This is where Robbie Lawler is scary.
I was disappointed in myself. I remember right after the fight, I wanted to be alone, and I took a shower, and I was thinking to myself, this loss was your fault, and this is nobody else's fault. It was your own mental mistake, and right away I owned up to it, and I grew faster because of it. I accepted what I did wrong, and I bounced back really fast with fighting Damian Maia in one of my tougher fights in my career.
And he does not like this one bit. Nope. He's trapped here. There's a right hand, left hook by Damian. And there's a nice right hand. Oh! Beautiful combinations by Rory MacDonald.
Great finish.
I think I have that burning blood inside me running through my veins, and that's never going to leave. It's just something I'm born with. And it's been a very long road, but you know, this is everything I've ever worked for, ever dreamed of. This is the moment that I was meant to shine in, and I'm going to walk out of that cage with no regrets, however the fight goes, because I'm going to leave it all out there.